Hello students, you are most welcome in your education channel Pathak Education Institute. And student, as you know that we are studying the chapter 1 Biodiversity and Classification. If you are watching this video and not take any copy or pen, so I want to request you student that you can get a pen and a copy to note all this. If you want to make a note, you can make a special note which help you to exam point of view and point of view of your knowledge and study. So you can must write all of these contents in your copy and make a note. Okay students, so yesterday we studied many parts of biodiversity and classification and three kingdoms: kingdom Monera, kingdom Protista and kingdom Fungi. And then today we will study the next part 2. Students, here is a knowledge for you about the fungi and organisms, which is also an amazing fact. So students, in a gram of fertile soil we have around 100 crore, and in a milliliter of milk we have 3000 crore of this organism. But we can't see that because that is very small, and if you want to see this, we have to a microscope which have a higher magnificence power. Okay students, so in a gram of fertile soil, we have around 100 crore, and in a milliliter of milk we have 3000 crore of these organisms, means bacteria. Okay, you may have observed some filaments here, like structure on rotting bread. You saw in a rotting bread some filamentous hair. In shoes during rainy season, or sometimes over pickle. Pickle is very common. All of you have pickles in your home, and if you know preserve well them, you saw some filamentous hair on the pickles. Okay students, these structures are fungi. In Hindi we call the phapund. Okay, mushrooms are a kind of fungi too. Mushroom is also a fungi. Fungi may be symbiotic, parasitic or saprophytic in mode of acquiring their nutrition. Some fungi are harmful while some fungi are useful. Some fungi are useful for us, but some fungi are also harmful for us. Some cause diseases while some cause used in the production of certain food materials like the yeast, which is used in preparing bread and beer. Some fungi are also used to produce antibiotics. So some fungi are useful, some fungi are harmful. Okay, and some causes diseases, and some are used to production the foods like beer, yeast, bread, etc. And fungi is also used to produce antibiotics. Okay, so here is a question in your book. The question is, the growth of which organism is arrested by keeping food in the refrigerator? Okay. Here the question is, why are organisms are not affected the food in the fridge? The question is, the growth of which organism is arrested by keeping food in the refrigerator, and the answer is the refrigerator temperature is lower than the outside temperature. We know that the refrigerator temperature is lower than the temperature of outside temperature. In such a situation, the bacteria which spoil the food by growing in the high temperature outside, and we know that the bacteria spoil the food and bacteria grow in the outside temperature which is higher than the refrigerator. Thus some bacteria do not grow in the low temperature inside the fridge. Some bacteria cannot grow inside the fridge because the temperature is lower than outside of the fridge, because of which food kept in the fridge remains safe for a certain time. Okay, so the question is, the growth of which organism is arrested by keeping food in the refrigerator? Answer is, the refrigerator temperature is lower than the outside temperature. In such a situation, the bacteria which spoil the food by growing in the high temperature outside, thus some bacteria do not grow in the low temperature inside the fridge, because of which food kept in the fridge remains safe for a certain time. Question is, why bacteria not affected the food inside the fridge? So the answer is, bacteria grow in the normal temperature which is higher than the fridge temperature, and when we put the food in the fridge, there is lower temperature than the outside, so bacteria cannot grow inside the fridge. So for certain time our food is safe. Okay, and here you are watching, you can see an diagram, a picture. This is the picture of lichens. So what is lichens? We will study about the lichens. What is lichens? So lichens are formed of some biotic associations of algae and fungi. Okay, lichen formed of some biotic association of algae and some fungi. Okay, lichen is made from the algae and fungi both. Lichen is not a one organism. They remain so closely associated that they appear as a single organism. When we see the lichen, we assume that this is a single organism, but not. This is not single organism. This is an organism of two, algae and fungi. Fungi use the food produced by algae through the photosynthesis. So how the two organisms are separate? So the reason is, fungi use the food produced by algae through photosynthesis, while algae use the moisture and minerals absorbed by the fungi. Okay, here fungi and algae depends on each other. Okay, fungi use the food produced by algae through the photosynthesis, and while algae use the moisture and minerals absorbed by the fungi. You hear about the litmus. So the litmus is produced from a type of lichen. views, and you used the litmus for check to acid and bases. So the litmus is produced from a type of lichens. Okay, students. Students, yesterday we studied about that Whitaker divide the whole organisms in the earth 5 kingdoms: kingdom Monera, kingdom Protista, kingdom Fungi, kingdom Plantae, kingdom Animalia. Yesterday we studied about the kingdom Monera, kingdom Protista and kingdom Fungi. And now this is the kingdom Plantae, plant kingdom. Okay, so what is plant kingdom and the properties of plant kingdom we will study. So all organisms of plant kingdom are multicellular eukaryotic forms. Yesterday we studied that what is multicellular and eukaryotic. Okay, and the second is most plants have chloroplast in their cells that helps them to photosynthesize, thus they are autotrophic. Autotrophic means the organism which make food for itself. Okay, and it is possible when organism have the chloroplast. Fungi don't have chloroplast, so fungi cannot be put in the plant kingdom. Okay, and the third is these have cellulosic cell wall. Plant kingdom have cellulosic cell wall, the cell wall which is made by cellulose. Okay, the examples of plant kingdom is Spirogyra, algae, and Funaria, which we called moss also, fern, cycas, date palm, neem, wheat. These are the example of plant kingdom. Okay, students, you can see the pictures of the example of plant kingdom: Spirogyra, Fernia, Marchantia, fern, cycas, neem, coconut palm and cactus. You can see the diagrams of these. Okay, students. Whitaker, and the next is Whitaker included multicellular algae in plant kingdom. The body of algae cannot be differentiated into root, stem and leaves. Maximum organisms of plant kingdom have their root, stem and leaves, but one member of this kingdom, which is algae have not root, stem and leaves. Means we cannot be differentiate into roots, stem and leaves. During rainy seasons, we often find a shiny layer of scum along the sides of ponds and rivers and sometimes on wet floors. This layer is mainly algae. Okay, in local language this is called kai. Algae means kai. We cannot differentiate the kai in their root, stem and leaves. Okay, and we can see the kai or the algae in the rainy season. Okay, this is a layer which is in the color green and brown maximum. Okay, students. Here we will study about the Funaria, which is an example of plant kingdom. Funaria, which we call also the moss. So what is the Funaria? The body of moss. The body of moss means Funaria can be differentiated into leafy structures and root-like structures called as rhizoids. Okay. Now we studied about the algae, which we call chi, that cannot be differentiated into root, stem and leaves. But another example of kingdom plantae, Funaria, have differentiated into the root, stem and leaves. Okay. And the root structures are called rhizoids. Rhizoids help in drawing in water and minerals, thus have been included under a group called Bryophyta. Other example of this group are Ricea, Marchantia. Okay, students. In kingdom plantae, a part of the body of organisms of kingdom plantae, which we call root. Root's work is to help in drawing in water and minerals. Okay. He supply water and minerals to the every part of body of organisms of kingdom plantae. Okay. And now we will discuss about the fern. Fern belongs to the group Pteridophyta. Okay. We studied that Funaria moss is under the Bryophyta, and the fern belongs to the group of Pteridophyta. The body of most plants of this group is like those of flowering plants. This is flowering plants. Okay. Plants have two types, flowering plants and non-flowering plants. Thus, their body can be differentiated into root, stem and leaves. And they also have vascular tissue. These are usually non-flowering. Vascular tissue is also the example of kingdom plant. But these usually non-flowering plants thus do not produce seeds. Marsilia in another example of this group. Okay, so we study about the classification of flowering plants. Okay, and students, classification of flowering plants. This is the classification of flowering plants. Example of the plant kingdom. Flowering plants are example of the plant kingdom. We know the flowering plants are divided into two parts. First is seeds without cover. Seeds without cover. Okay, seeds without cover. And second part of flowering plant is seeds with a cover. Seeds with a cover. Okay, and the seeds without cover is gymnosperm. Gymnosperm. The example of gymnosperm is cycas. Okay. And another part of flowering plant which is seed with a cover is angiosperm. Okay. And angiosperm is divided into two parts. First is more than one cotyledon, dicotyledon. For example, gram, pea, lentil. These have tap roots and reticulated venation in leaves. Okay. And another part of angiosperm is one cotyledon. One cotyledon. Here we see the this part is more than one cotyledon, but this part is one cotyledon. Seed leaf. Example, monocotyledon. Example, wheat, maize. These have adventitious roots and parallel venation in leaves. Okay, so this is the classification of flowering plants. Okay, Students, you know the Amarbel or dodder. So we will discuss about the Amarbel dodder. What is Amarbel or dodder? So Amarbel or dodder is a member of the plant kingdom. We studied about the plant kingdom, and Amarbel or dodder is also a member of plant kingdom. So what is Amarbel? This is a parasitic climber that wounds around the host plant. It is found in the host plant. So what is a host plant? Host plant, a plant which gave the food for Amarbel or dodder is called host plant. Okay, it does not certain chlorophyll. Maximum members of plant kingdom have chlorophyll, but these member of plant kingdom, Amarbel or dodder, that don't have chlorophyll, means they cannot photosynthesize. It acquires its food from the host plant. Okay, it acquires its food from the host plant. Dodder has a special type of root that helps to absorb the food materials from the host plants. A Amarbel or dodder absorb the food from the host plants by its special roots. Because the special roots of Amarbel helps them to absorb the food from the host plant. Okay, here you can see the diagram of Amarbel. Okay, here is a question in your book that observe the leaves of some plants like mango, rice, mahua, grass, maize. What is the relation that you find in the type of root and venation of leaves? So students, here we have to observe some plants like mango, maize, mahua, etc. And we have to tell the relation that we find in the type of roots and venation of leaves. So student, we have observed, and the answer is the relation that we find in the type of root and venation of leaves is, answer is the plants whose leaves have a reticulate venation have a taproot roots. Okay, here is the relation of type of root and venation is when the plant whose leaves have a reticulate venation have taproot roots, whereas the plants whose leaves have parallel venation have fibrous roots. Means if a plant have a reticulate venation have taproot roots, and the plants which leaves have parallel venation have fibrous roots. So the question is, observe the leaves of some plants like mango, rice, mahua, grass, maize. What is the relation that you find in the type of root and venation of leaves? So the answer is the relation that we find in the type of roots and venation of leaves is the plants whose leaves have a reticulate venation have taproot roots, whereas the plants whose leaves have parallel venation have fibrous roots. Okay, now we studied about the four kingdom Monera, kingdom Protista, kingdom Fungi, kingdom Plant, and now we will discuss about the properties of animal kingdom. We will study about the animal kingdom. Okay. So the last kingdom of classification of Whitaker, R.H. Whitaker, is animal kingdom. So we will study about the animal kingdom. First is the organisms of this kingdom are multicellular, eukaryotic, heterotrophic forms. Already we studied about what is the multicellular, eukaryotic and heterotrophic yesterday. Okay. If you didn't see that video, you should go and see. Second is these do not have a cell wall. Third is these do not have a chloroplast. These do not have chloroplast. So they depend on other animal and plants for food, their food. Fourth is mode of nutrition is mainly ingestion. They have a specialized organ for intake of food, as for example butterflies have juice sucking tubes. Human have mouth. We take food by mouth. Okay. Birds have beaks. To get food. Fifth, most of the animals have specialized organs for movement. Okay. Locomotion. The word locomotion is movement in such a way that location changes. A movement that location changes is called locomotion. The example of animal kingdom: lion, manna, fish, man, hydra, tapeworm, earthworm, mussel, scorpion, starfish, and etc. Here you can see the pictures of the example of animal kingdom: elephant, dragonfly, parrot, whiteworm, leech, fish, snail, mussel, frog, snake, bat, and hydra. Okay, here you can see. Now, as we studied the classification of flowering plants, now we will study the classification of kingdom Animalia, kingdom animal. Okay. So students, we will study about the classification of animal kingdom. So animal kingdom classified into two parts. First is with vertebral column and second is without vertebral column. The example of without vertebral column is earthworm, leech, mosquito, snail, ant, and tapeworm. And with vertebral column has two parts: hair present on skin, hair absent on skin. Okay, the organism which have hair on their skin and which don't have hair on their skin. Okay, hair present on skin have called mammals. For example of mammals: man, lion, cat, cow, and bat. And hair absent on skin are fish, amphibian, reptile, and bird. And this divided into two parts: feather present on skin, feather present on skin, feather absent on skin. So feather present on skin is birds. You know about birds. For example, manna, parrot, crow, hen. Okay. And the feather absent on skin: fish, amphibian, reptile. Fish, amphibian, and reptile has divided into two parts, which is skin with moisture and skin without moisture. Okay. Skin with moisture, for example, fish and amphibian. And skin without moisture is reptile. Example of reptile: lizard, snake, tortoise. Okay. And fish, amphibian is divided into two parts. First is skin with scales and skin without scale. Skin with scale is fish, for example of fish rohu, katla, and many types of fish. And skin without scales is amphibian, for example frog and toad. Okay students, so this is the classification of animal kingdom. In your book, a question has given, write a major difference between fishes and mammals. Write a major difference between fishes and mammals. So the major difference of fishes, here is fish. Here is fish and here is mammals. Okay. So mammal is a part of hair present on skin, and you can see that fish is a part of hair absent on skin. So the question, write a major difference between fishes and mammals, is answer is a major difference between fishes and mammals is mammals have hair present on skin and fishes don't hair present on skin. The hair absent on skin. Okay. And in your exercise, question 4 is write two differences between amphibians and reptiles. Question 4 is write two differences between amphibians and reptiles. Okay. Amphibians and reptiles. So the answer is this: skin with moisture, skin with moisture. This there is amphibian and then is reptile. So you can see amphibian have skin with moisture and reptile have skin without moisture. Reptile has skin without moisture. And here you can see amphibian is skin with scales, but the reptile is skin without scales. Okay. So the question is write two difference between amphibian and reptile. Answer is two difference between amphibian and reptile. First is amphibian have skin with moisture and reptile haven't skin without moisture. And the second difference is amphibian have skin without scales, but reptile have skin with scales. Okay. And sixth question of your exercise is what is the basis of keeping snake and tortoise in the same group? Snake and tortoise, here you can see snake and tortoise in the same group. Why we put it on the same group? Because both have skin without moisture and both have feather absent on skin. Okay, both have feather absent on skin. So question is, what is the basis of keeping snake and tortoise in the same group? The basis of keeping, answer is the basis of keeping snake and tortoise in the same group is both have skin without moisture and both have a feather absent on skin. Okay students, so this is the answer of these questions. Okay. So the next topic is need and process of naming organisms. Okay. Why we need the naming of living organisms and what is the process of naming the living organisms? We will study about it on this topic. Okay. So naming is a process of assigning a prepared place in organisms in the scheme of classification. Okay. By name, every organism, living and non-living things, naming is changed according to the place. Okay. In different places, different things, names are different. Okay. Thus, an organism is assigned a specific name. An object or living organism is called different names in different places due to the diversity in language. in different places. People use different languages, so the name of living or non-living things are different in the different places because the diversity of languages. Okay, for example, like potato is called as very difficult in study because this is in Tamil. Potato is called as Urulaiki Lanku in Tamil. Potato called Urulaiki Lanku in Tamil, and batata in Marathi. Aloo called batata. Batata means aloo in Marathi, and aloo in Hindi. Aloo means potato, and we called aloo in Hindi. Okay. Various names of the same object possess difficulty in identify an object. Addressing this difficulty, Linnaeus suggested a system of naming living organisms that could be universally followed. Linnaeus observed that we call living organisms in the different languages in the different places. So Linnaeus thought that we have to create a naming system which followed in the whole the earth, and the name is same on the all places in the earth. Okay, so this was a system of scientific naming according to him. Okay, Linnaeus gave scientific naming system. Okay, students. So students, here is a question in your book, which is, what do you understand by binomial nomenclature? What do you understand by binomial nomenclature? So answer is according to this system. According to this system. Which system? The system which is given by Carolus Linnaeus, which is a scientific naming system. According to this system, each organism would have a name comprising two words. This is the system of binomial nomenclature. In this scientific system, there is two word. Name is in the two word. This naming system is called binomial nomenclature. The question is, what do you understand by binomial nomenclature? So the answer is, according to this system, each organism would have a name comprising two words. This is the system of binomial nomenclature. And then the question is, how do we write the name of organisms in this system? So the answer is, in this system, we would write the name by as follows. First is, the first word of the name would represent the genus, while the second would represent the species. Okay. We, in the binomial nomenclature system, we write the names of living organisms in two words. The first word is represent the genus of the organism, and the second would represent the species. Okay. Second is, the first alphabet in the name of genus would be in capital letters, while the rest would be in the small letters. The name of species would be small letters. Okay. And the third is, both the word in of the name are either underlined or written in the italics. Either underlined when we name the name of organism, when we write the name of organism, we have to underline the words, or the written in italics. Okay. So the next is, give at least two examples. The two example is, the specific name of some organism is as follows. Two example is, first is frog. Frog scientific name or binomial name is Rana tigrina, and lions name is Panthera leo, and other is sparrows scientific name is Passer domesticus, and you know man's scientific name is Homo sapiens. Okay, so the question is, what do you understand by binomial nomenclature? How do you write the names of organisms in this system? Give at least 2 examples. So the answer is, according to this system, each organism would have a name comprising 2 words. This is the system of binomial nomenclature. In this system, first is the first word of the name would represent the genus, while the second would represent the species. And the second point is, the first alphabet in the name of genus would be in capital letter, while the rest would be in small letter. The name of species would be small letters. Okay, and the third point is, both the words in the name are either underlined or written in italics. And 2 examples is frog, Rana tigrina, lion, Panthera leo. Okay, students. Certain species are wiped out from earth while certain new ones appear. Okay, students, there are many types of organisms in the earth. Some are discovered, some are not discovered. Okay, this process goes on continuously in nature. Okay, because many types of organisms in there on the earth, which we don't know. Okay, there's no scheme of classification would be successful enough including all species of organisms at that time. Okay, because the all organisms is not discovered and we don't know about all the organisms, so we can't say that the classification is successful. Okay, any classification of successful. Even after Whitaker, there have been several other systems suggested for classification of living organisms. Okay, we studied about the many scientists classification of organisms like R.H. Whitaker's 5 kingdom, Carolus Linnaeus 2 kingdom, and John Ray. Okay, so after the R.H. Whitaker, there are many systems suggested, but we can't say that any system is complete. Thus, it is apparent that even the 5 kingdom classification cannot completely include the known forms of diverse organisms present on the earth. No, present many types of organisms in the earth, but Whitaker's 5 kingdom classification is not satisfy it. Okay, as more and more organisms would be discovered, the scope of biodiversity would expand and the basis of classification would change along with its system. When the new organisms is discovered, the new system is also discovered, so it expands the system of classification. Okay, students, now we will study the exercise and answer the questions. We answered many questions of exercise and the answer questions of book, but some questions have in the book which we can't answer. Okay, so we will go on the exercise. Okay, so the exercise first question is choose the correct option. First question is in classification. First, identifying character is not essential. So I studied in classification, identifying characters is not essential, so it is right answer. And option number B is member of a class shares more similarities. No, this is not answer. A member of a class don't have similarities. It is not similarities the basis of the organism put in the same group, so it is not answer. D, there is no basis. Every classification has a basis, so this is not answer. So in classification, answer is option number A. Identifying characters is not essential. Second question is, a dicotyledonous plant is onion. No, onion is not dicotyledonous. Grass is also not dicotyledonous plant, and banana is also not the dicotyledonous plant. But mustard is a dicotyledonous plant, so the answer is dicotyledonous plant is mustard. Option number D is right answer. Third is a character not similar to birds and fishes. Presence of body compartment, it is similar because both have this, bird and fish. Egg laying, bird and fish both give eggs, so this is not answer. Presence of vertebrae, both have vertebrae presence, so this is similarity, this is not answer. We have to tell the differences. A character not similar to birds and fishes is answer. Presence of wings, because bird have wing but fish haven't wing, so the answer is option number D. Question is a character not similar birds and fishes is option number D is answer. Presence of wings. Okay. Students, when we were studying the lesson, we answered all the questions. Only a question is left which weren't answered. Okay, so this is question 9. Question 9 is, what are the similar characters of bats and rats? Okay, so the answer is the following are the similar characters of bats and rats. First is all these organisms are multicellular, eukaryotic and heterotrophic. Second, in these living beings, nutrition takes place through animal means ingestion. They have special organs for take food. Third, movement organs are found in these organisms. Fourth, mammary glands are found in these. Fifth, all these are child-giving creatures, not egg. Child-giving creatures, bat and rats, both. Sixth, spinal cord is found in these, and seventh is hair is found on their organisms. When we studied the classification of kingdom animal, we saw that hair is found on their body, both bat and rat. So student, we studied all the questions and answered all the questions, and the chapter first, the classification, biodiversity and classification is complete, and we will meet tomorrow with a new lesson, which is lesson 2 of your book. Okay students, thank you so much.